BC.
All right, folks. Thanks for sticking in there. We're going to do our second hour of Sports Talk. We're here every Thursday evening, 100% commercial free, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. We do thank you for tuning in. I'm Chris Muldoon. He's Marc Tarkowski. He's Tristan Hamilton. Sorry about that. I was listening to the ID. And he is KJ Brooks, and I apologize profusely. And he is KJ Brooks, and he is bedecked in Celtics green because when his team loses one game, he doubles down. He doesn't run away from his team. He
I'm
comes,
like Marc over here.
He comes back.
So what is he going to do when they lose 4?
He's going to be wearing a parka and a hat. It's like,
he's going to be a little bit overdressed.
He'll be wearing his Yankee shirt.
Well, we got Richie from Charlotte. We thank Richie for calling in. But what would you say about the how the Celtics look right now? We'll let KJ talk about that.
KJ, go ahead.
Okay. So I thought you were talking to the caller. So Marc, I have a question for you. Why are you wearing a Cavs shirt?
Because you have to root for a team that's still in it, can't I? If my team's not in it, don't I have the right to pick another team that's in it?
Okay, you could pick a team, but you really have to wear the shirt. 'Cause you know what I remember? I caught a flashback. The first day I met you, you wore that Cavs shirt. You made it seem like you was a Cavs fan, and then later on, you admit that you was a Nets fan.
Yeah. Well, I didn't pay for this shirt, so if I have it, I might as well wear it when it's appropriate. I feel like today's an appropriate day to wear a Cavs shirt.
Interesting.
Do you feel like today's an appropriate day for anything, KJ?
Yes, sir. And Marc, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you.
For what?
The number 1 pick for Jaylen Brown, and next year's 2018 pick as well. I thank you.
You guys own that outright, right? There's no swap.
No swap. We own it straight up, unprotected. Thank you, Billy King.
It wasn't Billy King.
But I'm just saying, what was your motivation behind wearing that shirt? Like, really, why'd you wear it today?
You guys getting smoked.
You know something? Because I go to Queens College. I've never been there on a really hot day before. And I wanted to see how the buildings were going to be when it's really hot out. Because you know what I'm saying?
No. So I know why you wore it. Because you try to troll me.
He's making good radio.
But always, Marc, I will always get one above you. Okay?
This is fun.
I will always get one above you.
We'll see about that.
Let's see. Look at this. Ta-da. On radio, the reveal.
Wow.
Underneath it, we got KJ Brooks is wearing a Brooklyn Nets and a Brooklyn, like a draft pick would be if the Nets had a draft pick. He's got a Brooklyn Nets. Here's the thing, though. Talking about going to that, because Marc's like, why is he giving me heck here? But all of a sudden, I was like, what's going on? Because it was all to set up a bit. But KJ, that is a long sleeve Brooklyn Nets shirt.
Yeah.
Good thing it's the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the Knicks trading up to the number 2 position? Do you think they got a good shot at doing that?
I don't know.
What could they trade?
I know. What do they got?
You can only trade Porzingis.
Yeah,
and I don't think
they're not trading him.
That.
They would be running. It's funny because the way and Tristan had alluded to it before about everyone booing that pick when it was made.
Yeah.
Everyone booed so much when that pick was made, but yet now, if you ever traded Porzingis for anything less than with that said, the number 2 pick, if you bring Ball to the Knicks, you know what? That would be funny. It would be the Knicks would be the first story on SportsCenter every night. Mm-hmm. They'd be back pages forever. Yep. So Ball on that team. And what did Ball's father say about why the UCLA lost? Because of the 3 slow white guys?
Yeah.
You'd be trading for a slow white guy. So it'd be kind of funny.
But I think the highest the Knicks could go is 3. Would be 3. They can't get Boston. Boston wouldn't do it, and the Lakers wouldn't do it.
And they'd be trading in Division 2 if they're going to 3 as well.
Yeah, exactly. So they wouldn't do that.
Did you know that during the season that what's his name? Phil Jackson stopped practice and told the guys how you do it this way.
And that was late in the season. That was with 10 to 15 games to go. So the season was already done at that point. Yeah.
And you know what? If I was the coach, I'd say, you know what, Phil? This is yours. Have a nice day and move on. Because that's the thing. It's like Hornacek needs to be fired to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they never brought Marc Jackson in there. I don't understand.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Marc Jackson's a really smart guy. Marc Jackson's a real because everyone I know who knows him, and if you've ever watched his career, he's always picked everything right. He's great on TV. He's picked good jobs that he's gone to. the success of the Warriors after he left is still a tribute to him in terms of he got it right. He just didn't tweak it the way that Kirk
didn't get along with the
ownership. I mean, so he got it right. I mean, he took a team and Kirk. But I know what Kerr brought the guy who was on the bench into the rotation and things like that. Okay, I got it. I understand. But Mark Jackson always picked the right places to go, even when he had his career. Yeah, he started off with the Knicks out of St. John's, but then he went elsewhere. He succeeded, right? He went to the Clippers. He went to the Pacers. He was the guy. I never thought and I was a St. John's season ticket holder in the '80s when Mark Jackson was there. I never thought Mark Jackson was going to be a pro. I thought the Knicks were just doing him a hometown favor when they drafted him. Meanwhile, this guy was the all-time assist leader in the NBA. This guy is a Hall of Famer, and he's just. And if you look at his career, he always picked the right places to go. He was always in the right places. So even in deciding not to go back and be a head coach of a team, he went to the TV booth where he's excellent. He's really good. He's astute.
Is he in the Hall of Fame, though?
Well, remember, the Hall of Fame is not NBA or college. It's the overall Basketball Hall of Fame at the Naismith up in Springfield, Massachusetts. So when you become a Hall of Famer, there's guys who were great college players who were terrible pros, but they're Hall of Famers kind of guys. Right. So it doesn't go. There's no NBA Hall of Fame. It's a Basketball Hall of Fame. Yeah. So like Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Famer. It's like, okay, even though he went to Central Oklahoma.
This team is, what? No one doesn't care as long as he sells out the Knicks.
I like to joke that the people who host the show tonight, we are the demographics of the NBA. We got Jewish Americans, African Americans, and corporate seats, right? I mean, that's the demographic. Jim Dolan's got all three of them in attendance, and they're selling out the arena. That's what it is. That's the Knicks.
I was very disappointed in the amount of Cleveland fans in the building yesterday. It was just ridiculous.
That's the only thing disappointing. They're not even Cleveland fans.
I know. I'm just saying. It just
the last time the Nets ever played the Heat in Newark, New Jersey, I was there. Everyone was rooting for the Heat, but nobody was wearing a Heat jersey.
Good. Well, I mean, I can't. Every time I see a kid wearing a Seahawks jersey, I mean, you couldn't give a Seahawks jersey away for free for decades.
And can I be honest? There's no New Yorker that could tell me they're a Spurs fan. I don't want to hear what you say.
Or Golden State.
The Golden State thing. Golden State, and I've been hosting this show for years. I mean, Golden State was such an afterthought. No one would talk about Golden State.
Except when they beat the Mavericks that one year.
But that was, but no one even cared. Yeah, exactly. Golden State. No one can. They're not even called San Francisco. They're called Golden State.
I think they're changing their names when they move.
Are they really?
No,
they're not.
I don't know.
Do you know when Coney Island they have a big net store that's a local net stuff?
Yes, yes.
I'm
it's on
sure
the
Marc
boardwalk.
knows.
It's on the boardwalk. It's only open.
I
during
do
the summer.
too.
It's only open during the summertime.
Well, they have good colors. I mean, the Nets, when they moved to Brooklyn, that afforded them the opportunity to change their colors.
Oakland Raiders.
Exactly. And they got, that's
same inset logo if you look.
Unless you're a Crip, that sells.
If you look at the triangle, look at the Nets triangle thing.
Right. Oh, yeah.
KJ's hat is the same thing as the Raiders.
NWA is what it was. That's
Chris, did you used to go to the
old Chicago
barn
White Sox in the 90s as well.
Did you used to go to the old barn in Hempstead?
The Island Garden.
No, where the Knicks used to play, the barn, right?
Oh, the barn. Yeah, I didn't. I would have. With Comac Arena too. I'm trying to think of. I went. To, I was 5 or 6. I remember one time I lived down the corner from a Hardee's, which not even on Long Island anymore, and that became.
There was a Hardee's on Long Island.
Yeah, 1975 and 76. Yeah, and that became a Roy Rogers. In which case you'd say there's a Roy Rogers on Long Island, and now it's a Wendy's.
I want the girl, not the burger.
But so
don't you already have a girl?
I remember my dad, my Dr. J, Julius Irving, who's from Roosevelt, was doing an appearance at Hardee's, and I remember, and Dr. J was 6'6", so nowadays, as a grown man, I'm like, it's tall, but it's not that. But I just remember his legs just came out of the booth at Hardee's. It was just like this unbelievable, like the longest legs I'd ever seen in my life. Wow, it was. I remember getting his autograph back then. So I don't know if they were playing at that time. I think by that point they're playing in the Coliseum by that point. But when you think of like Rick Barry, thinking of Hall of Famers, he played for the Nets and lived in Garden City, and one of his kids, because he had the three, he had three sons who played at Scooter, and he had Brent, and he had Skippy, who they all played for the played in the NBA. One of them was born right here on Long Island
I met him one time. He's a nice guy, Rick Barry.
Yeah, Rick Barry is
a gentleman.
Yeah, he's known for being a gentleman, and he's also known for having a major temper. So, I've heard stories of him where people were like, "Oh, that guy was the youngest man I ever saw," and then everyone's like, "Oh, great guy."
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Now, did Dr. J and Howard Stern go to school together?
Howard Stern was born in 1954, so Dr. J would have. Dr. J went to UMass, then he went to the Nets around 75, which would mean Dr. J was probably born around that time, yeah. But Stern's never alluded to Dr. J, so I'm going to say no. But look up when Dr. J was born, because Stern grew up in Roosevelt and went to his first 2 years at Roosevelt High School. Then transferred his parents moved to Rockville Center, and he graduated from Southside the last 2 years.
Have you seen Nelson DeMille's around the neighborhood lately? I know.
Well, I know that Nelson. If you're ever in Garden City, Nelson DeMille has his own writing office. There's a bunch of on 7th Street. There's a bunch of apartments and offices, and Nelson DeMille has a writing office where he just goes and writes his book whenever he writes a book.
You haven't seen him around, huh?
Literary agency.
My brother once went to a party in his basement, and I laugh when I say basement party. No, the basement was the length of the house and was just like anybody's first floor of a house, but it was a basement. So
Garden City.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Richie from Shirley. You got it. Be well.
Take care of yourself.
All right. We've heard from Dave from Franklin Square. We've heard from Richie from Shirley. Would love to hear from you. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. I think we should have some Yankee talk.
Okay. So, I was just about to say that Dr. J was born 1950.
So he's 4 years older than Howard Stern. So that makes sense. They wouldn't be in the same class. Mm-hmm. In fact, he'd be. That's always a funny thing. Like someone who's 4 years older than you are or younger than you, you never are in school at the same time.
Meet them.
You never see them. Yeah. So, but and Eddie Murphy, I think, was born in '60. I want to say, and so and went to Nassau Community College actually.
His older brother,
Charlie.
Rest in peace.
So
he probably went.
Yeah, how old? He just died 2 or 3 weeks ago. How old was he when he died?
I think like 50.
Roosevelt history.
50 something.
Yeah.
We talk about every town in Nassau.
Really, we should. This is Eddie Murphy went to Nassau Community College. I wonder if Charlie did, because Eddie did, and Eddie was younger. But Eddie went from NCC to Saturday Night Live. He was attending Nassau Community College when he went to try out for Saturday Night Live.
59, he was born.
Oh, Charlie was?
Yeah.
So he's 5 years younger than Stern, so he never would have been at the same time as him as well. But Billy Crystal is an NCC graduate. Know anything of the famous Nassau Community College graduates? That's
Bruce Arena, head coach of the U.S. national team.
The MNT, the men's. See, it's all about abbreviations. Men's national team. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440.
He went straight to the military after he was done.
Charlie did?
Yeah, Charlie did.
Wow.
For the Navy, right after he finished high school.
Interesting. Yeah.
Alumni, Bruce. Joel Rifkin.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Let's see who else. Steve Buscemi.
Who became a fireman. He was FDNY before he was an actor.
Billy Crystal.
Yep, knew that. Billy Crystal went to Marshall University on a baseball scholarship, and then he was homesick for his new girlfriend, who wound up being his wife and still wife, and transferred to Nassau Community. But he went to Marshall on a baseball scholarship.
Can you imagine it, though? Like, if it never worked out?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then he was. I think, as I remember it, he got a teaching degree because he did when the stuff was on when the writers were on strike and they weren't doing shows. He became a substitute teacher.
You know who else came to Nassau? The old FedEx speed talker.
Oh, John
Moschita.
Yeah.
Cheetah. I don't know how to pronounce.
Spell it for me. I used to not pronounce it.
Moschita.
John Moschita. Yeah, that's his name.
Those old FedEx commercials.
They were way before your time. You remember those?
No. But I've seen those in the the guy who used to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. The old gentleman.
Yep.
Who else?
Beefsteak Charlie.
Zach Ryder, Chris Weidman.
Well, Chris Weidman. So Chris Weidman started here. Graduated from Hofstra.
Yeah.
So they're doing a UFC show at Nassau Coliseum, and he's the headliner. But I think he's lost his last 3 matches, I think. I mean, he
had that one good fight.
Well, he beat the Brazilian guy.
Yeah,
Anderson Silva.
Well, the guy snapped his leg in half.
Yeah, Anderson Silva.
What an attraction, right?
Yeah.
Oh, losing
that was a great fight.
A Coliseum wrapped in tinfoil.
Right, exactly. I was watching News 12 this morning, and they had Elisa Di Stefano, who's married to ex-Hofstra basketball coach Mo Cassara, and she was interviewing Lars Ulrich from Metallica, who played the Coliseum last night, and it was funny because they